Ilatag natin ang baraha. Ilatag natin ang baraha kung bakit talaga ninyo ginanon yung tao. Tatanungin natin,
Yes, sir.
did he violate the law? Meron ba siya binayulit na batas? Yung pagka-contempt niya, kasalanan ba niya yun? Kasalanan ba niya? I'm sure all of you were watching the proceedings. Kasalanan niya kung ipagtayo niya yung katotohanan? Panindigan niya yung katotohanan? You want to say something?
Yes, sir. Based on our policy, sir, yung allowpe po kasi, sir, once hindi siya makapag-perform, katulad nung nakulong, sir, so he will be issued orders as allowpe, sir. Then, corresponding to that, yung salary niya, sir, talagang puputulin din based on the...
Wala akong question dyan. Alam ko may mga policy na ganyan. What I am telling you about is how you interpret your policies. Maawa naman kayo sa tao ninyo. Yun lang sa akin. Welfare of your men. Yun lang sa akin. I hope you get me right. I hope. Hindi ko sasabi na pag walang tapon niyo yung mga policy ninyo dahil ginawa yan, may rason yan. At ang rason yan, I should be clear to you. Bakit dating ginawa yan? Kasi yung mga iskalawag na pulis na patuloy pa rin na nagtatanggap ng sweldo kahit may mga kaso, yan, ginawa natin yan. Pero in the case of Rijaldo, dapat sabi ko nga sa inyo, dapat marunong kayo mag-interpret your own policy to your advantage. Kayo, advantage ninyo sa inyo. Huwag naman na ganunin yung tao ninyo. So, yeah, you want to say something?
Yes, sir. Sir, we will submit ASAP, sir, yung documents regarding Colonel Grijaldo, sir, to your office. And we will also inform yung office concerned, Your Honor. Thank you po.
Thank you. Salamat. You want to say something, Senator JB? Please, you have the floor, Your Honor.
Good morning, magandang umaga. I'm just here to listen to tackle the different measures up for the agenda this morning. Pero siguro pasalamatan ko lang, narinig ko kasi kanina yung na bring up yung issue sa Marilaki. Nagpasalamat lang ako sa HPG, sa PNP, sa Region 4, sa Provincial Director din, sa support na kahapon no, nagkaroon tayo ng Make Marilaki Safe Ride Again. Kasi nga, nabanggit niyo Mr. Che kanina, that Marilaki has become a very notorious place. Dati, enjoy tayo dyan. Maganda ang lugar, no? Magandang kalye, magandang Sierra Madre, magandang tanawin, maraming kapihan, maraming restaurant. Kaya lang, medyo dahil sa ilang pasaway ng mga riders, nasisira po ang lugar. No? Ako kasi I'm advocating Philippine Motorcycle Tourism. Papasalamat daw kay Chairman Sen. Bato de la Rosa also for joining us in once in a while sa rides. Sayang po kasi yung hindi lang po yung safety pero yung economic benefits ng Marilaki. It's now the #1 tourist destination of Rizal. No? Napakarami ang nakikinabang diyan, local economy na bubuhay. Kaya lang naapektuhan ko. Mr. Chair, ako mga 3 years na akong hindi umaakyat dyan dahil nga nakakatakot, no? Dahil yung isang kasamahan namin na damay, namatay siya, na binangga lang siya ng isang irresponsibleng rider. So, papasalamat ako. Hopefully, yung ating activity kahapon ay will already create an awareness of the need really to enforce discipline sa Marilaki. Napakaganda ng lugar na yan, and it could help immensely in the local economy of Rizal, of Tanay, of Antipolo, through tourism, no? Kaya siguro ano lang doon, Mr. Chen, nabanggit niyo kanina yung enforcement, pero ang alam ko they tried ulit mga ilang taon na, no? Ang HPG naman nagpupunta diyan. Pag nandiyan ang HPG, dumidisiplina naman, no? Kaya lang siguro mas, Mr. Chen, I don't know, you're a former PNP chief, you should know na siguro gawin regular na, dapat magkaroon na ng stasyon siguro dyan, substation, para maging mabantayan na, especially mga areas na kung saan sila nagde-daredevil, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, Your Honor, the regional director of PRO 4A, General Lucas, committed for the permanent placement of his people there para mabantayan 24/7 yung highway. That is his commitment, Your Honor.
Yes, thank you. Papasalamat ako sa regional director, sa PD, sa HPG head at sa LTO nandun din kahapon. So dapat hindi lang naman silang in-government agency, hindi lang local government, Mr. Chair. Siguro yung riding community din dapat maging responsable, no? Na sa kanila pong hindi lang siguro Marilaki, it goes with other places as well, no? Na dapat siguro yung iba matuto na pag dumadaan tayo sa mga lugar, respetuhin natin yung mga tao, yung mga nakatira sa lugar na yon. Yun lang, Mr. Chair. So, thank you.
Thank you. And in line with that, Your Honor, Senator JB, na-discuss ko rin sa kanila yung enforcement natin dyan sa area should not discourage the leisure riders from availing of the beauty of Marilaki. Baka mamaya hindi na sila babiyahe dyan dahil masyado na stricto, di ba? Stricto in the sense na maiwasan ang disgrasya pero still dapat friendly pa rin sila sa mga motorista. Yun lang, Senator JB. Thank you. Commissioner Kalinisan.
Magandang umaga po, Your Honor.
Thank you for coming. So we proceed to the bills under consideration. Number 1 is Katutubong Tagapagtanggol Act of 2022 by Senator Loren Legarda and Senator Francis Tolentino. This is all about the 1987 Constitution mandating the promotion and protection of indigenous cultural communities or indigenous people, IPs, within the framework of national unity and development. Despite this mandate, ICCs or IPs face exclusion and discrimination in recruitment programs of the Philippine Military Academy and Philippine National Police Academy due to cultural differences. To uphold human dignity and reduce cultural inequities, the bill proposes a proportionate recruitment share for ICCs or IPs in PMA and PNPA, ensuring equal access to opportunities in national service. Yung proportional recruitment share is the bill mandates that at least 10% of new cadets admitted to PMA and PNPA must belong to indigenous cultural communities and the IPs. Anybody want to comment? How about Gerald Berong, the PNPA director?
Sir, with respect to that bill, we have no position on that. We fully support that bill, sir. If I may give some statistics, currently we have 1,085 cadets, sir. And of that number, 272 cadets belong to the indigenous cultural communities. That
benefits po for uniform personnel are different from non-uniform personnel. So, kailangan po natin i-study mabuti yung mga ibibigay po natin for non-uniform personnel. Baka maggayahan po kasi mga other na non-uniform na may uniform personnel din. And in the bill, may mga increase in benefits like yung cost of living allowance, clothing. So, we would like to emphasize din po yung magiging budget impact po nito in the long run. Of course, on the retirement program po, at the moment po ongoing po yung study po natin for all uniform personnel. So, sana po ma-consider rin po na maging uniform na po for all MUPs, not just the PNP po. And finally po, we would like to take note also on the utilization of firearms license fees. Ang nakalagay po dito shall be used solely for the scholarship of dependents of the police.
Pareho magulang ko po, police, Your Honor, nanay ko po at tatay ko. Hindi lang po yung lalaki po yung police, pati po yung babae, Your Honor, police din po. Kaya po, ako po ang ambassador of the moral and welfare of the Philippine National Police. Kaya don't worry po, Your Honor. Pangangalagaan po natin ang moral at welfare ng ating kapulisan. Kailangan ko lang kung duktungan. Kaya alam ko naman ang pinagdalandakan ko everywhere I go, tayo po ang tagapagtaguyod ng may kakampi na at pinanganak na ang kakampi ng pulis sa loob ng NAPOLCOM. Pero, Your Honor, we also need to strengthen disciplinary authorities. So, bukod sa IAS, kung pwede hong manawagan, Your Honor, ako po bago po ako naging commissioner, ako po naging hepe o executive officer and chairman of the People's Law Enforcement Board, PLEB, ng Quezon City. Doon po napakaraming masasayang kaso. That actually led me to where I am right now. Baka rin po kung maaari, Your Honor, mas strengthen din po natin ang PLEB alongside the IAS. And as commissioner right now of the NAPOLCOM, I'm very much willing to give my insights to strengthen both the IAS and the PLEB, Your Honor, para po medyo effective po yung intent ni Senator Grace po to strengthen disciplinary mechanisms in the Philippine National Police and outside. Kasi po yung PLEB, siya po labas doon sa mechanism ng NAPOLCOM at ng IAS, Your Honor. Pero again, with the reassurance of this commission, the NAPOLCOM and this commissioner, that we are promoting the welfare and morale of the Philippine National Police.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Anyway, for the sake of discussion, no, yung minsan kami sa police noon, para bang feel namin ang dami ng disciplinary authority ng nagko-cover sa police. Meron na yung unit commanders, meron na yung NAPOLCOM, meron na yung IAS, meron pang PLEB. So sa dami-dami, para bang hindi kaya ito too many cooks spoil the broth? Yun amin lang ha, for the sake of discussion. Sa dami nakikialam sa disciplinary authority ng PNP, bakit hanggang ngayon ang dami pa ring iskalawag na pulis na gumagawa ng kalukuhan? I don't know how are we going to attack this situation. Are we going to make one single disciplinary authority na napakalakas, or itong nakakalat ng mga disciplinary authorities ay palalakasin natin lahat-lahat? Or ako, being a retired chief PNP, confused pa rin ako kung ano magiging approach natin dito, kung saan tayo mag-capitalize. Dahil nga, sa dami ng nagdisiplina sa police, ang dami pa rin, unlike the Armed Forces of the Philippines, isa lang yung disciplinary authority nila. Yung chain of command lang, yung kanilang commander lang ang disiplina. Pero look, yung disiplina nila napakalakas. Pero dito sa atin, sa PNP, ang daming nakikialam sa disiplina, yung pa rin. I don't know, siguro very in-depth study. Pag-aralan natin ng gusto kung paano ito nangyari. Kasi maraming factors talaga nag-apekto sa sitwasyon ng polis.